All right. I'm told growing up in extreme poverty, our next guest moved between 7 to 10 homes within the same community. But her journey is a testament to resilience, perseverance, and the transformative power of education. With me this morning is Chief Executive Officer and founder of Keystones, Mrs. Lisa Taylor Stone.
Thank you so much.
Well, go on.
I'm good.
Everything is everything?
Yes, absolutely.
You want my favorite color. Sometimes I speak and I say, well, I never knew I was poor till I get old and realize, a lot of things that other people had, I didn't have. Never bothered me at the time. Mm-hmm. Did you know growing up that you were a little different and, you weren't as well off as other people? Did you realize that? Definitely
not. Not until I went to high school, to Convent of Mercy Academy Alpha. And people like me at the time didn't go to Alpha. In fact, I was an anomaly, pretty much, right? So when I did common entrance in 19 long, I topped the school and I ended up at Alpha. And when I saw the other children, parents dropping them off, in cars and things, I realized that I was different. Yeah. But growing up, it wasn't like that at all.
At that time, were you able to choose which school you wanted to go at them days?
Well, you had 3 choices, I believe, in common entrance. And I picked for Alpha, I think Camperdown and another school, I can't remember. But Alpha was my first choice.
Yeah. What did Alpha do for you?
Well, Alpha is a big part of how I ended up how I am now. I remember going there, I was a trouble child. I always get in trouble all the time. But one of the things, I don't know, I just always in trouble in my mouth. I always get picked out because I was so direct, with the teachers. But I remember also being very bright. I was an A student. And I recall when I passed for my common entrance for Alpha, I saw my dad cry twice in my entire life, and I'll be 42 in another couple of months. And he cried when I passed, and I remember saying to him, Daddy, why are you crying? And he said to me, because you passed for one of the top schools in Jamaica, and I may not be able to keep you there. And at the time, Alpha's school fee was about 5,500 Jamaican. And can you imagine, Neville? He saved 3,000 all of his life, and he had to go to the bank, Mutual Security at the time, so it's a long time, and pull all of that money. And I remember one day I was at school and I got a letter from the principal office to say that my space will be jeopardized because there is money owing, and I brought it home to him, and he went to the school. He was so angry. And at the time, Sister Catherine Grace, who is now the principal for Campion College, I think her name is now Mrs. Batson. And she calmed him down and she said to me, Mr. Taylor, we may have some help for her. And it was at that point when I was assigned to a sponsor who is an Alpha old girl who used to go to Alpha. She was living in the Cayman Islands at the time. And from first to upper 6, she took me through school, paid school fees, bought books and everything. And that is how I ended up where I am today, If it wasn't for the intervention of a principal who understood that me acting out wasn't just acting up. And a teacher saved my life, pretty much, and I'm grateful.
But then you went to UWI, and you mashed up UWI too?
Why?
First class honors, no so?
Yes. UWI was something else. I met so many different persons who taught me how to dream, inspire, how to live, how to see the world differently. Professor Pat Anderson was very instrumental in that. I remember one day she came to me because she was angry, she put me on a project. I was doing well, but then I don't remember what happened. I remember her saying to me, but Lisa, nobody owes you anything. And that particular comment, it draped me up. When I get draped up?
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
And I remember she was so instrumental in my journey and my life. I remember when I left UWI and I wanted to go directly into a master's program, she said to me, Lisa, go and gain some experience, work experience. And I'm happy I listened because from I left UWI until now, I've been able to demand my salary, what I'm paid in the job market. And I've always been in managerial positions.
Okay. Your master's is in what?
I did a master's in sociology of development.
Why?
Because at the time, sociology was a thing, and I fell in love with research. It's a research-based degree. For a very, very long time, I was pretty much blown away by the power of data and what it meant until I got tired of it and changed careers.
There were so many times, and so for so many reasons, you could have fallen off the tracks, but you didn't. Why? What kept you on the straight and narrow?
I do believe that my faith is very, very important. And I have a relationship with God. I met the Lord at a very young age. That and the influence of my father. He was what you classify as being semi-literate. You know, one of the things he always said, boy, I mean, I see my name on a bowl and I meet. But he was one of the most persons who was very visionary in terms of his approach, you know, and he taught me how to dream. I remember when he would leave the house and I would go with him, he would walk and sell anything. If him find guinea, him sell it, him push cart, him sell sky juice. And I remember when I was walking past the National Stadium and that community with one of those big houses on the top, Beverly Hills, he would say to me, Sonny, because that's what I'm called, dream, you know, dream big and you're going to live in one of those mansions. And I'm not being boastful, but I do live in a mansion, you know, and my father understood the importance of prophesying and speaking the things as if they were. He knew how to do that very well.
Fantastic. Tell me about your business, the chief executive officer. Yeah, big thing. You run the place.
Oh my God.
Tell me about your business. What do you do?
Well, I'm an event architect.
Which mean what, please?
Okay, so event architecture pretty much allows businesses to use stages or events to achieve their strategic imperatives. So I'll give you a quick example. The Caribbean Export Development Agency that's based in Barbados, they own the Caribbean Investment Forum brand. And I was hired in the inaugural year of that event to manage the event. And the primary objective of that event really is to spotlight the Caribbean as being ready and open for investment. And 3 years later, I was rehired every year since that. I did the last one for them in Guyana.
And they've St. Lucia also.
Yes, and they've attracted over institutional investors valued at over 600 billion.
Wow.
You know, so it's more than just an event. It's really a space that would allow you to achieve your strategic imperatives. Yeah. So everybody else who is in the industry, for example, the decor people, the AV, the production people, I see all of those individuals as allies, you know?
Yeah. This is where you want to be. Are you still going to move? Next time you come back, you say you own the whole of Kingston.
Well, this is where I want to be for now. And fun fact, in 2022, I had a moment where I decided to bet on myself in August 2022. I was in a very high-paying job in St. Lucia. And I decided to leave because I wanted to bet on myself. I really do believe that the nest was being stirred and it was time for me to fly. So I just flew. You know?
Yeah, you have an accountability project coming up in when it's
October 8th and 9th.
Yeah, what is that about?
The Accountability Project Summit 1.0. It's a platform that's curated to spotlight the dark side of leadership. And I decided to curate that event because it's a sum total of my lived experience in terms of the types of leaders I've been exposed to in organizations, you know. And rather than cry and go away hurt, I decided to turn the lemons into lemonade and to do something about it. So it's happening at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel on October 8th and 9th.
Cost?
It's $700 US per person over 2 days. We have a stellar lineup of speakers, which includes, for example, the Deputy Governor for the British Virgin Islands, Dr. Ibukuna Washikwa, who is one of the directors of Binance, which is the largest crypto trading platform. We have Prudence Peter, who is a global HR lead from Amazon, and a number of local acts, you know, within that space. So we're looking forward to that as well.
You have 30 seconds to look in that camera and tell young people out there who may have experienced what you went through, how to get to where you are.
Absolutely. Where you start is not necessarily where you will end up. And I challenge you today to die empty. And by dying empty, this is what I mean, that you would have lived out all of your talents, your skills, your ideas, before you hit the ground, and that is important. I don't remember the name of the pastor. I think he passed, and one of the things he said that the graveyard is the richest place in the world because there are so many untapped talents and hidden, you know, agendas there. But I challenge you to live out, live loud, and be humble. Those are my words.
I love you.
Thank you.
Man, congratulations, an amazing story.
Thank you
And
so
I just have a feeling you will come back and say, guess what, me just buy the whole of Kingston.
Look here, I receive it in Jesus' name.
There you go. Chief Executive Officer, founder of Keystones.
Keynotes.
Keynotes.
Yes.
Keynotes. Mrs. Lisa Taylor Stone. All right, folks, coming up next, we discuss the family court's decision to free a teen charged with murder. Interesting. Soon come.